In a small town where the mundane often overshadowed the extraordinary, a group of friends decided to embark on a 7-day positivity challenge. The idea sprouted from a casual conversation over coffee, where they lamented about the weight of daily stresses, the relentless grind of work, and the overwhelming negativity that seemed to seep into their lives. It was a simple yet ambitious plan. Each day of the week would be dedicated to a specific theme of positivity, encouraging them to shift their perspectives and embrace a more optimistic outlook. On the first day, themed gratitude, each friend was tasked with writing down 3 things they were grateful for and sharing them with the group. Emily, the ever-bubbly organizer of the challenge, began with her list. Her supportive family, the warmth of the sun on her skin, and the laughter of her friends. As she spoke, the others began to reflect on their own lives. Jake, a self-proclaimed cynic, surprised himself by mentioning his new job, which he had initially viewed as a burden. "I guess it's not so bad after all," he admitted, a slight smile creeping onto his face. The atmosphere shifted, and for the first time in a long while, they felt a collective lightness, a sense of shared appreciation that was infectious. Day 2 was focused on acts of kindness. Each participant set out to perform at least one kind act, however small. Sarah, who often felt overwhelmed by her responsibilities as a single mother, decided to bake cookies for her neighbors. She had always been shy about reaching out, but as she knocked on doors and handed out her treats, she felt a warmth spreading through her chest. The smiles and gratitude she received in return sparked something within her. It was a simple gesture, but it reminded her of the connections she could foster, even in her busy life. Meanwhile, David, the quiet thinker of the group, found himself volunteering at a local animal shelter for the day. He had always loved animals, but had never taken the time to get involved. As he played with the dogs, he felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment that he hadn't known he was missing. The third day, positive affirmations, proved to be the most challenging. Each friend was encouraged to write down a positive affirmation about themselves and recite it aloud. For many, this was a daunting task. Jake struggled to find words that didn't feel forced or insincere. "I am worthy of good things," he finally declared, his voice barely above a whisper. The vulnerability in his admission stirred something in the group. They all realized how hard it was to acknowledge their own worth. Emily, who had always been the one to lift others up, found herself battling her own insecurities. "I am enough," she finally said, her voice steady as she looked around the circle. And in that moment, a wave of understanding washed over them. They were all in this together, grappling with their own demons, but also supporting one another in their journeys. As the week progressed, the theme for Day 4 was mindfulness. They each decided to spend time in nature, disconnecting from their devices and immersing themselves in the beauty around them. They hiked a nearby trail, the sun filtering through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground. As they walked, they took turns sharing their thoughts and feelings, allowing the fresh air to cleanse their minds. Sarah, who often felt rushed, found herself truly savoring the moment, the sound of rustling leaves and chirping birds a soothing backdrop. David, usually lost in his thoughts, felt a sense of clarity as he observed the vibrant colors of the flowers blooming along the path. The hike became a shared experience of tranquility, a reminder of the simple joys that often went unnoticed. Day 5 was dedicated to overcoming negativity. Each friend was encouraged to confront a negative thought or belief that had been holding them back. Jake decided to tackle his fear of failure. He shared his struggles with the group, revealing how it had prevented him from pursuing his dreams. "I've let my fear dictate my choices for too long," he confessed. The support he received from his friends was palpable, and as they rallied around him, he felt a surge of determination. Emily, too, faced her own negativity, acknowledging her tendency to compare herself to others. "I need to focus on my own journey," she realized, and with that insight, she felt a weight lift. On the 6th day, they celebrated joy. Each participant was tasked with doing something that brought them pure happiness. Sarah chose to spend the day at a local art fair, immersing herself in creativity and color. She painted a small canvas, a vibrant depiction of her children playing in a field. The joy radiating from her as she painted was evident, and she felt a renewed sense of self. David, on the other hand, decided to host a game night, inviting friends and family to join in the laughter and camaraderie. The room was filled with playful banter, and for the first time in ages, he felt a sense of belonging that he had long craved. Finally, on the last day, they gathered to reflect on their week. The theme was sharing insights. Each friend spoke candidly about their experiences, the challenges they faced, and the transformations they underwent. Emily admitted that she had learned to embrace her imperfections, while Jake noted that he was beginning to see failure as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. Sarah expressed her newfound appreciation for community, and David shared how he had discovered the importance of connection in his life. They laughed, cried, and celebrated each other's growth, the bond forged through this challenge stronger than ever. As the week came to a close, they realized that the Positivity Challenge was not merely about finding happiness in a week. It was about cultivating a mindset that could last a lifetime. They had faced their fears, celebrated their joys, and learned to appreciate the beauty in both the ordinary and extraordinary moments. The challenge had transformed them, not just as individuals, but as a collective. And as they parted ways, they knew they would carry the lessons learned into their everyday lives, continuing to uplift one another long after the challenge had ended.